It is time for Rich Rebel Sports on 98.3 KADQ and MyLocalRadio.com. Rebel Sports brought to you in part by the Rich School District, Evanston Regional Hospital, Ready, West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, the Come On In, the Station on Main, Les Schwab Plains Tire, Stacy's Repair, Summit Pizza, Little Springs Water, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, Ellingford Brothers, Hometown Drive-In, the Town of Woodruff, T7 Propane, Bear Lake Realty, Independent Software Solutions, McKay Frankham DDS, and the Crawford Trough. Let's go to the Les Schwab Plains Tire broadcast booth and join the voice of the Rebels, Aaron Poling.
Welcome to the Les Schwab Plains Tire's broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at MyLocalRadio.com. Actually, that's a lie because we are just starting the Summit Pizza pregame show as it is time for that Summit Pizza pregame show for, if you can believe it, Colin, the 1A state championship game.
Yeah, return of last year for both teams. Panguitch is probably going to be looking for a little revenge, but it'll be a great game.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. That's kind of the game I think everyone around 1A volleyball, I mean, obviously each team thinks they're going to win the state championship every year, but I think a lot of teams, when the tournament schedule came out, a lot of teams were expecting this to be the state tournament matchup, as technically earlier in the game, according to seeding, the Rebels upset the Tigers, but that's their third time beating them this year, as the Rebels are going to play the Panguitch Bobcats here in the state championship game. Rebels are the 3 seed, Panguitch is the 1 seed. Be a real interesting matchup, but we'll set the scene when we come back on the Summit Pizza pregame show. That scene set will be brought to you by Little Springs Water as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at MyLocalRadio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are rich high school alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it is time for the Little Springs Water scene set for today's action, as it's part of the Summit Pizza pregame show. And to set the scene, I don't think it gets much easier to set the scene, or bigger, to be honest with you. State championship game, Rebels and Bobcats. They're going to run it back from last year.
It's a great atmosphere in here. It gets pretty loud. It should be a great matchup between these two teams. But yeah, this is a great atmosphere. The UCCU Center. I'm glad we're back here for actually 1A volleyball. This has always been a great venue to have. It's
absolutely wonderful. It's also a lot closer too. But you know, if you watched or if you listened into the Tabiona Rich game, you could hear how loud that crowd was getting. I don't anticipate it to be as loud here in the championship game, just because we are further away from the crowds. They have the media set up on the far side of the court. We'll be playing at court 2, which is only one to the right of where they played the first matchup. But, you know, we can make do, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm ready for it. I'm sure the players are ready for it. One of the interesting things is to see how the players handle all of the festivities around the pregame. You got to remember, before the game, or before all of the games so far this weekend, they haven't really done starting lineups or announcing players, but you got to imagine in the state championship game, they're probably going to do it. And it also looks like we're going to be playing these things one at a time, as Rich and Tabiona will be the only, Rich and Panguitch, that's a habit from earlier, are going to be the only two teams on the floor during this matchup, so it'll be very exciting. Rebels taking on the Bobcats in about 15 minutes. First serve, as when we come back, we'll hear from this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week, Casey Wilson. You're watching the 2023 Your Triples Varsity Volleyball Team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
When you need automotive service on your car, truck, semi, or tractor, call Clay and the team at J-Bar Auto in Randolph. J-Bar Auto also offers competitive pricing on tires for all vehicles. Call or stop by J-Bar Auto today.
I'm here with Casey Wilson, senior at Rich High School, and this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week. Casey, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad that you're able to join me, as it's kind of been a little bit of a hectic week. I'm sure it's been super hectic for you guys, getting prepared for the state tournament. What's this week's practice been like?
This week's practice, it's been pretty rough. We've been doing a lot of sixes, so we're getting a lot of touches on the ball and just playing hard, and a lot of competition into this week's practice to get us prepared for this weekend.
So when you say sixes, for those for viewers at home or like me who aren't quite sure what sixes are, what do you mean by that?
So it's just like a kind of a normal volleyball game. It's where we have 6 people on each side of the net, and we're just playing back and forth. Every time the ball's up in the air, we're just playing back and forth.
Gotcha. You guys have a lot of experience coming back from last year's state tournament. Obviously, we all know how that ended. But I got to imagine that run last year, it's got to make you feel confident going into this year, correct?
Yes, I'm very confident in my team, and I know that we can pull it off this year too.
Over the last couple weeks, what are some of the things that you guys have done to prepare for the state tournament?
In the last couple of weeks, we played some really tough teams in our last. So we went down to the Richfield tournament, and then we went to Lyman, and those are really tough teams to play against, and that just gets us prepared for those, just to play better teams to make us better and to make us work harder. So that's one thing that we've been doing a lot.
So let's turn to a life a little bit outside of volleyball. What are some of your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time?
I love to be outside, so I've been hunting. I've got a deer tag, so I've been hunting, and I love to just work on our ranch that we have and just be outside, so it's really fun.
Any particular animal or any trophy that you've gotten over the years that you want to talk about?
So I do 4-H, and so I was able to sell my pig this last year, and I've done 4-H for the last 9 years of my life, so it's been really good just to help me be able to work with animals and gain a relationship with those.
That's super cool to hear about. Going back to volleyball, you have a really important position on the volleyball team that I think often gets overlooked, and that's the setter position. Just because you guys handle the ball so much, it's almost like the point guard to a basketball team. You guys handle the ball so much, and sometimes when we all see the ending of the play, but that pass is just as important. Can you go ahead and talk about your role on the team and the setter position as a whole?
Yes, so being a setter is because you have so many different people you're trying to set for. So I have middle hitters that need the ball lower, but then I have have outside hitters that need the ball higher, and so it's really can be really stressful. But being able to manage that stress it pays off because I know that I can do it, and I have amazing coaches that help me to be able to believe in myself to be able to do it. And my teammates are very helpful with that too, as they cheer me on and tell me that I have great sets. So it's really helpful to have great teammates.
One last question for you. What should the world know about Casey Wilson?
The world should know that I work very hard for what I do, and I work very hard in anything, and I love to be able to help people and just cheer people on.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act when you have an emergency. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
The team at T7 Propane in Woodruff is always cheering for the Rich Rebels, in sports, in the classroom, and in life. For quality professional propane service, call T7 Propane in Woodruff, 435-793-4208. When you're hungry for an amazing breakfast, just like Grandma used to make, visit our bakery on Main Street in Randolph. We hand make fresh pastries for you to enjoy. Supporting the Rich Rebels and thanking you for your business, visit our bakery today.
Ready is committed to providing superior services to our customers by requiring individual accountability for excellence in quality, safety, and dependability. We are a growing company that is currently hiring across Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Nevada, Idaho, and elsewhere. Our valued team members receive competitive wages, full benefits, and weekly pay. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Success doesn't come by accident. Success requires hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and believing in yourself. Eddie and Todd Jensen established the Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho on these very principles. The students, staff, athletes, and coaches at Rich High School value these same fundamentals in education and activities, in athletics, and in life. Good luck, Rebels, from Mound Valley Cattle Company, serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997.
I'm here with the head coach of the Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team. That's head coach Janelle Wasden. Coach Wasden, how you doing today?
Good, thank you.
So this week's the week. I mean, can you just kind of talk about some of the excitement? I'm honestly getting goosebumps right now just thinking about the tournament. How are the players reacting, and how is the excitement level at practice each day?
We had a great week of practice last week. Everyone was working hard, and you can tell that they're excited because of how hard they're working.
So can you just kind of give us a little bit of a recap of how you guys' last week went? Last week was the bye week, so you had a full week of practice. You'll also have another full week of practice.
So last week we started the week with some sixes, and then we ended the week doing some competition tournaments where everyone got to touch the ball a lot. They competed hard against each other. we worked on some hitting and some blocking and serving and passing and all the things. But the nice thing is they were competing and working hard. So I feel like they're peaking at the right time.
Would you say competition is probably the best way to avoid becoming rusty or the best way to avoid not being ready for the tournament?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think remaining competitive and trying to get better every day definitely is going to help us stay ready for the tournament, especially where we had that bye.
I know as a coach, you probably look at one game at a time, but I'm a media member, and that's something we just simply do not do when it comes to tournament brackets. Yourself, have you looked down the bracket to possibly see what could be after the matchup with Milford?
Yes, we definitely have.
So what about the...
No, yeah. I was just going to say, we have looked down the bracket and looked at what possible teams could be there. So
what has kind of stood out to you, the way the bracket has kind of fallen into place?
I'm actually really grateful for where we're at in the bracket. There's definitely some good teams on our side, and then also some great teams on the other side. So I just know whoever we play, we need to be ready for each and every game.
If you believe in omens, the last three opponents from Rich's state title run last year are opponents that could possibly be playing in the tournament, that Rich could be playing in the tournament this year in the last three games. If that isn't crazy, consistent volleyball from some of these schools in 1A, I'm not sure what is. So what has really gone into this week for practice? I mean, you guys obviously have to find a balance between being ready for Friday and being rested.
Yes. We're going to do some skill work, a little bit of more skill work, and then also just some more sixes and just to keep up on all the skills, but also Thursday will be an extremely light practice for us, some team building and some stuff like that, so that we're really rested and ready to go.
Coach, you guys will be successful this weekend if you do what?
If we believe in ourselves and play together.
We want to thank Coach Wasden for being a part of the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital pregame coaches show on the Summit Pizza pregame show. When we come back, we'll have some keys to today's matchup brought to you by Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
When you're experiencing pain from an injury or pain for an unknown reason, it can negatively impact how you function every day. It's good to know that individually supervised physical therapy is available at Evanston Regional Hospital. From athletes to seniors, we assist patients with personalized treatment plans. We offer a broad range of therapies, including cardiac rehab, post-surgical rehab, concussion recovery, and sports rehab. Ask your family doctor if physical therapy is right for you, or call one of our therapy departments directly. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Quality is the one thing that you can always count on when you do business with Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. You always get high-quality products and friendly, knowledgeable service at Ellingford's. Stop in today, 199 County Road, Evanston.
At the Evanston Walmart, you'll find all the tools students need to succeed. Our team is committed to providing quality products and an excellent shopping experience. Stop in today, 125 North 2nd Street, Evanston. Walmart. Save money, live better.
The town of Garden City is home to beautiful Bear Lake, where families play together. We welcome you to Garden City and invite you to visit bearlake.org for places to explore and information on upcoming events year-round. The town of Garden City welcomes you as we cheer on the Rich Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. That horn for the service part of warm-ups goes off as they're going to take the teams back into the tunnel. A little reminiscent of last year at Richfield. It'll be kind of the same. They're going to have the smoke and mirrors, and teams are going to walk out, and it's going to be pretty hard, if we're going to be honest. Like, I think that's really cool. I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. We haven't even started.
Yeah, pretty exciting atmosphere here today. You don't even know what to say.
No.
About speechless.
It's just so much fun. And for the keys to today's game, Colin, I think just go play your game. You got yourself here by playing your game. Yesterday, I don't think they played as well as I wanted to yesterday, but they played well against Tabiona this morning. If they can, refine that momentum and try to come out here and just play your game. Play your game, live with the result. That's all you can do, as these are the two best teams in 1A. You haven't seen Panguitch yet this year. But what you can control is how you play. If you come out and you're not making mistakes and you're forcing Panguitch to, have to make plays and forcing them to, score points via the kill instead of scoring points by, us hitting the ball out of bounds, and they win that way, you know what? Take your hat off to them. You really can't do much more about that. Just come out and play your game, and I think the Rebels will be all right. As when we come back, we'll hear from this year's 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team as you're watching the 2023 Rebels volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are Rich High School alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
You hear that? That's the sound your new water makes just before it gets to your bottle. You see, at Little Spring Water, they don't add a thing. It's the purest, cleanest, and healthiest water you could possibly drink. It's nature in a bottle. Little Spring Water is a family-owned and operated bottled water company right here in Utah. Nestled in a beautiful canyon in Bear Lake, this spring has been in the family for 5 generations, and now it can be in yours as well. It's high-quality premium drinking water packaged in a durable, recyclable bottle that won't spill or crack on you and can be refilled multiple times. No chemicals, no additives, just pure, clean, healthy water. And because Little Spring Water is local, you can get it at a fraction of the cost. Look for Little Spring Water at a grocery store near you. If you don't see it, ask your grocer for it by name. Little Spring Water. It's nature in a bottle.
Welcome back to Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as we are going to go silent for some of the festivities here in the arena, so that way you can hear them at home.
At this very moment, members of the United States Armed Forces, including some from Utah communities, protect our freedom as we enjoy this match. We pause to honor those men and women and honor this nation. Please join us now as we listen to our national anthem as sang by Kathy Woolsey, head cheer coach at Panguitch High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Woolsey with our national anthem.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. They are going to do player announcements here in a second, and when they do, Colin, we're going to turn it back over. We're going to turn it over right now, actually.
For tonight's match. First of all, for the Rich Rebels, number 3, Leah Peterson. Number 4, Nia Jolly. Number 5, Molly Weston. Number 6, Tess Cordia. Number 10, Tyler Puckmeyer. Number 14, Brenley Hatch. And number 22, Raylan Puckmeyer. And now, here are the non-starters for the designated home team, the Panguitch Bobcats. Number 1, Addison Bailey. Number 10, Brooke Albrecht. Number 20, Tate Miller. Number 21, Bentley Owens. And number 23, Chloe Orden. And now, please welcome the starting lineups and coaching staffs for the 1A championship match. Starting for Rich at defensive specialist, number 7, Ava Ellsworth. For Panguitch at lakeside hitter, number 3, Mallory Henry. For Rich at center, number 9, Casey Wilson. For Panguitch at center, number 4, Kieran Mooney. For Rich at defensive specialist, number 11, Cassie Argyle. For Panguitch at lakeside hitter, number 6, Caitlin Polson. For Rich at outside hitter, number 15, Paige Smith. For Panguitch at center, number 8, Jocelyn Griffin. For Rich at middle blocker, number 21, J.D. Walentine. For Panguitch at middle blocker, number 11, Madeline Franson. For Rich at outside hitter, number 25, Violet Taylor. For Panguitch at outside hitter, number 12, Tabitha Henry. For Rich at middle blocker, number 40, Haiti Puckmeyer. For Panguitch at middle blocker, number 13, Oakley Woolsey. For Rich at outside hitter, number 41, Hannah Scott. For Panguitch, outside hitter, number 14, Braylee Franson. Also starting for Panguitch, out at defensive specialist, number 16, Janessa Eaton. And at libero, number 28, Katie Harlan. The head coach of Rich is Danelle Wasden. Assistant coaches Melinda Hissler, Lauren Haycock, and Taxi Johnson. The principal is Jesse Calder. The managers are Brett Weston, Kira Jolly, and Jalen Lutz. Panguitch head coach is Troy Norris. Assistant coach Anne-Marie Norris. Principal Russ Torgerson, and manager Parker Allen. The officials for today's match. The R1 referee number 1 is Lori Mills. The referee number 2 is Loretta Montgomery. The linesmen are Billy Peterson, Leslie Peterson, and Stephanie Seeley. The scorer is Susan Smith. Timer is Jerry Henderson. And the libero tracker is Sarah Fallon. Let's play volleyball.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Playing Stars broadcast booth. As you can hear, some of the atmosphere in the background as I'm Aaron Poland. That's Colin Pace. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get a couple more minutes for the Rebels to warm up, and as they do, let's meet your 2022 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team.
Hi, I'm Casey Wilson. I am going to be a senior this year, and I will be playing varsity setter.
Hi, my name is Nia Jolly. I'm going to be varsity opposite, which is right side, and I'll be a senior.
I'm Janie Valentine. I'm going to be a senior, and I will be a middle blocker on varsity.
My name is Hannah Scott. I'm going to be a senior, and I am playing varsity outside hitter.
Good, it's your girl Violet Taylor, aka V Swizzle, and this year I'll be playing varsity outside.
My name is Ava Ellsworth. I play all around right side, and I'm a senior.
Hey, I'm Haiti Pugmire. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm playing middle blocker on varsity.
Hey, I'm Brinley Hatch. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play middle blocker.
Hi, I'm Cassie Argyle. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play outside hitter.
Hi, my name is Leah Peterson, and I'm going to be a sophomore, and I'm playing outside hitter.
Bella Wheeler. I'm a sophomore. I'm probably going to play opposite.
Paige Smith, sophomore, outside hitter.
My name is Tyler Pugmire. I'll be a sophomore, and I'm playing middle.
I'm Tess Cornia. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a setter.
I'm Avery Weston. I'm a sophomore, and I play opposite.
I'm Braylon Pugmire. I'm a freshman. I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Lacey McKinnon, and I'm a freshman, and I'm going to be a middle hitter.
I'm Molly Weston, and I'm a freshman, and I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Jalen Lutz. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm a setter.
My name is Lida Taylor. I'm going to be a freshman, and I want to play middle hitter.
My name is Kelsey Heiner. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm going to be back left.
I'm Chaisley Levitt, and I'm going to be a freshman, and I think I'm going to play JV, middle hitter.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. In the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. As we got about a minute 30 left before we start the 2023 1A state championship volleyball match between the Rich Rebels and the Panguitch Bobcats. Colin, it's excitement in the air.
Definitely. These host places that have these state tournaments for the state of Utah do such a great job for these kids. When they do these starting lineups and everything, it just brings chills, I think, to everybody in the arena, not just the players.
Absolutely. If you weren't able to see it, if you weren't watching on one of our competitors, but you're just listening in on 98.3 KADQ or online at mylocalradio.com, a big smoke machine. They have the cheerleaders in their line. I mean, it kind of looks like they're the same team, if we're being honest, because both of them are wearing blue and black. But they interline, one Rich, one Panguitch, and, you know, they come together for the national anthem. The teams walk out of the tunnels with a smoke machine. It's something to behold. I mean, I don't think you get better at building an atmosphere for a state championship volleyball game. It's been super exciting.
It definitely has been that, and I think we're in for a heck of a match here between Panguitch and Rich.
Absolutely, me too. If it's anything like it was last year, buckle up. It's going to be awesome.
It definitely will be awesome.
Of course, the Rebels last year went up 2-0, lost the next two, won set number 5 to win the state title. And if we can get anything close to that, it will be just as exciting. One thing that it's going to be interesting to see is how the teams temper nerves. Whoever comes out, I want to say, a little bit less nervous, gets to their game quicker, is going to get an advantage here in the first set. And winning that first set can really put you at ease. It can put you in the driver's seat to win the state title. Nerves, a funny story from last year. I don't know if I told the story live on air, but throughout the entirety of the warm-ups, Ellie Argyle, of course, Cassie Argyle, older sister and, you know, all-state player from last year, a Rebels volleyball team, didn't move for like 10 minutes on the bench. She was just sitting there with her head in her hands, just waiting for the game to get going, as she was super, super nerved up as they reset the clock. They put a couple more minutes out back on the clock. 1:25 left to go before we get the official go-ahead. And Colin, what are you most excited for about this?
Just the game itself. The way both teams I've seen play at this tournament, it's going to be a great game no matter how it ends up, and that's what I'm excited for. I just like to see good, solid sportsmanship play, and I think we're in for that all day.
Absolutely, and that's the way it should be. In a state championship game, it should be two teams battling it out, dogging each other for, you know, the majority of the match. Last year, I would say last year was almost an instant classic. It's probably the best game of any sport that I've ever seen in person. Definitely the best game of any sport I've ever called in person. Like, it was just incredible. So if it lives up to even a tenth of that, whew.
And then you throw in the Nia Jolly honesty last year.
Yeah, there's just so many storylines.
It made for such a great game last year, and I think we're in for the same thing this year.
I don't know if Nia Jolly is going to be able to get off the bench and tell the officials that she touched the ball, but of course we're referring. I'm sure Nia's going to hate us for telling this story again. Last year during the state finals game in set 4, there was an attack that clearly went off in Nia's hands, but it just got missed by the officials. And Naya went over to the stand judge and overturned the call. And I don't know what it felt like when she turned around to like see the peers, or excuse me, the glares, I should say, from her bench of like, what are you doing? But, you know, honesty, you got to respect that, and that's just kind of Naya's character. And it's kind of a bummer she doesn't get to play in this game. Unfortunately, she only played one volleyball game this year. She got hurt before the Kemmer matchup and just hasn't been able to quite get back yet. And, you know, I'm a little bummed out that she won't be able to play in this game. But you know she's going to be the best cheerleader on the bench for the team.
Yeah, that whole thing just speaks to Naya's integrity and what a great young woman she is and what she's going to be as she gets older. And that's what sports are about, to get you to grow and teach you life lessons. High school sports, that's exactly what they're all about.
As we look like we are about ready to go. Rebels hit the floor. Bobcats hit the floor. And gonna high five under that one last time in the season, as it is almost time for the 1A state championship volleyball match. As it is absolutely crazy in here. Teams huddle up one last time, and you might be able to feel my leg pouncing up and down. I know Colin can feel it. You might be able to feel it through your computer screens. I am jacked up, ready to go. And why wouldn't you be, Colin? Man, this is what you play for all year. And especially for a senior-laden group coming off a state championship win. I don't want to say they don't take the regular season seriously, but this is what they played all year for to get to this point. 6 on the floor to start the match for the Rebels will be Smith, Wilson, Pugmire, Taylor, Argyle, and Ellsworth. For the Bobcats, it'll be Harlan. We're not quite sure who Harlan's going to check out for. It'll be Harlan, Tabitha Henry, Madeline Fransden, and Caitlin Polson across the front. Across the back, looks like that's going to be Jocelyn Griffin, Janessa Heaton, and, of course, Katie Harlan, the libero. As the Bobcats, they are going to serve first. As Jocelyn Griffin, the junior from Panguitch, has the enviable task of leading this volleyball game off with a right-handed serve that goes over the net, received by Paige Smith, middle of the back row. Wilson has an attempt blocked at the net. Rebels play it back to Smith, who's going to bump it over. Bobcats on the attack. Dug out by Harlan. They go outside for an attack. Whistle blows. Double hit called against the Bobcats. Rebels on top. 1-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Good of a good break there for the Rebels as that ball hit the hardwood. Would have been a point for Panguitch. Instead, they pick up the point as Pugmire will serve. Smith out, Wallenstein in. As Haiti Pugmire's serve goes out of bounds across the back line by about 5 feet. I think that might have been a little bit of nerves there from Haiti.
Yeah, a little strength, a little overpower.
Comes a serve from Tabitha Henry. Off the net, falls in for an ace. Not much the Rebels can do there as I tickled the top of the tape. Fell in on the Rebel side. 2-1 Bobcats here in set number 1 on the station on main scoreboard. Henry gets the ball back. Right-handed jump serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels go to the middle of the floor to Wallenstein. She tips it over. Bobcats there to play it. An attack from the outside, and Woolsey is going to fall in front of Smith. 3-1 on the station on main scoreboard. Bobcats on top as Tabitha Henry will serve again. Right-handed jump serve, lets it go from about 10 feet behind the line, received by Taylor. Rebels go to Taylor on the left wing. She lets it go with that right hand, kept alive in the back row by the Bobcats. They go middle of the floor in attack, find Smith middle of the back row. Rebels go back to Taylor, unloads with that right hand. Diving effort in the back row, kept alive. They set up Henry on the left wing. That goes out of bounds. As the Bobcats turned and looked for a deflection. Probably not going to get that one as that ball was about 3 feet over the net. Wilson serves. Rebels trail 3-2 on the station on main scoreboard, received by the Bobcats. They go opposite side. Smith with a dig, middle of the back row. They go to Taylor, left wing, tips it down to the hardwood as Violet Taylor picks up the first kill of the contest. We're tied at 3 in set number 1. So Wilson will serve. Ball over, low line drive, received back row by the Bobcats. They go to the opposite side. Ellsworth with a dig. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, lets it go. Deflected in the air. Kept alive, back row by Tabitha Henry. Set up Woolsey on the near side. Casey Wilson with a nice dig there. Rebels go Taylor. She attacks. Kept in the air by the Bobcats. Quick attack there as Smith jumps back in the back row to keep it alive. As Taylor's going to push it down that sideline. Finds the libero Hardland in their back right corner. Tip attempt goes out of bounds across the right wing sideline. Rebels on top 4-3. Got to like the idea there from the senior Maddie Fransden as she tried to find that hardwood. If she was able to keep it in bounds, that's a point for the Bobcats. Instead, Wilson serves to Harland. As they set up on the outside, that goes into the net. Rebels on top by Rebels on top by 2 as we adjust the station on main scoreboard 5-3. As Wilson will serve. Ball over, lets it go. Received in the back row by Woolsey. Bobcats are going to attack from the 10-foot line as Smith with the dig. Rebels play it back to the middle of the floor where Ellsworth takes charge, bumps it over. Bobcats on the attack. Set up on the middle of the floor as Wilson diving effort keeps it alive. Unfortunately, the ball comes right back to her. Point goes to the Bobcats, as I believe that was Woolsey who will pick up the kill. Checking in for the Bobcats, number 14, Braley Fransden, as Harlan will serve. Ball over, received by Argyle. Rebels go Taylor left wing. As she attacks, that finds Harlan, kept in the air. Opposite side attack finds Wilson back row as Ellsworth does a good job keeping it alive. Argyle plays it over. Bobcats on the attack. They go middle of the floor. That's blocked back to the Bobcat side. Kept alive. Rebels look to set up their attack. They do. Middle of the floor to Wallentine. Tips it over. Good dig in the back row by Griffin. Set up on the outside as Smith lunges back to keep it alive. Rebels set up Taylor left wing, right hand. That finds Harland in the back right corner. As Fransden, fresh off the bench, gets an attack. Rebels dig that out. Taylor's going to bump it over. As the Bobcats looking to set up the attack that goes around the antenna, and we are tied 5-5 on the station on main scoreboard after quite a rally there.
Big rally there. Janie Wallentine had that good block in the middle. They kept it alive. Fun to watch.
Serve over by Harlan, received by the opposite libero Smith. Rebels go to Taylor on the left wing. That's blocked. That is in. That's going to be a block for the front line of the Bobcats. Falls in on the Rebels side. 6-5 on the station on main scoreboard. As the Bobcats, Harlan will serve again. Right-handed serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She lets it go, deflected high in the air, kept alive by Tabitha Henry. They go middle of the floor attack, blocked again by Wallentine. And this time an attack from Fransden off of the arms of Argyle as Smith runs underneath it, plays it back to the middle of the floor where Wilson takes charge, bumps it over, received in the back row by the Bobcats. They go opposite side. That is off the arms of Argyle, out of bounds as the Bobcats take a 2-point lead. 7-5 on the station on main scoreboard as the teams trade 4-0 runs. Harlan will serve again. Lets it go with the right hand, received by Argyle. Rebels set it up. Taylor left wing as she tips it over. It's going to fall in. As she tipped it over the front row, kept it in front of the back row. 7-6 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor gets the kill. Now will serve as Scott checks in for Argyle. 7-6 Bobcats on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor serves. Received in the back row by the Bobcats. They go middle of the floor, tipped, kept alive by Wilson. Rebels go Scott left wing. She unloads. That's kept in the air by Fransden. Rebels with an attack that is off the arms, out of bounds. Actually, they say that stayed inbounds. Rebels will pick up the point, as I believe that was
Janie Wallentine.
Absolutely. 7-7 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor serves. Received in the back row by Tabitha Henry. They go the opposite side, kept alive by Smith. Into the net as Ellsworth goes diving under. She went under the net, would not have mattered. 8-7 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith tried to keep that one alive, unable to do so. Checking in is number 4, Kieran Mooney, the junior. She will serve. Couple of dribbles, attacks, lets it go with the right hand. Jump serve received by Taylor. Rebels set up the attack. They go Ellsworth opposite side. She lets it go. It's out of bounds across that right wing sideline. 9-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Bobcats on top. Mooney the serve. Lets it go. Received by Taylor. A couple of Rebels nearly run into each other. As Scott takes charge, plays it over. Bobcats on the attack. They go middle of the floor. It's tipped. That's going to fall in. Bobcats by 3. Biggest lead of the game for either team. 10-7 on the station on main scoreboard. And I'd say so far, Colin, nerves are probably more on the Rebel side than the Bobcat side.
That's definitely what it's looking like. We're not playing the net like we were last game either.
Serve received by Smith. They set up Scott left wing. She attacks. It's deflected high in the air, out of bounds as Scott will pick up the kill. 10-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Paige Smith will go to the line to serve. This is where the Rebels really made hay in the first set against Taviona with Smith at the line. As she lets it go with the right-handed jump serve. Received in the back row by Tabitha Henry. They go opposite side for an attack. Deflected in the air, kept alive by Smith. Rebels go Scott left wing as she tips that high in the air. Good read in the back by Mooney as an opposite side attack from the Bobcats. Read well by Smith as Wilson's going to bump it over. Bobcats look to set up the attack as they do. Middle of the floor, an attack to the back row. Finds that back line as that was number, looks like 3, Mallory Henry. 11-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Janessa Heaton will check back in. 11-8, Bobcats up by 3 here in set number 1. We are in the 1A state championship volleyball match. Serve received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott left wing, lets it go with the right hand, kept alive by Heaton in the middle of the back row. They go outside to Woolsey, deflected, kept alive by Scott as Pugmire tried to go over. I think she might have stepped on Hannah. 12-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats will serve again.
Pugmire back in the game. Let's see if they can start controlling that net like they were against Tabby.
Serve received by Taylor. Rebels go Scott on the left wing. She bumps it over. Harlan in the back right corner. Tip attempt as Scott's able to lunge to keep it alive. Taylor back to the middle of the floor as Pugmire pushes it over. Bobcats on the attack, middle of the floor. They find the hard one in the back left corner. 13-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as we're going to get a timeout. We're going to take one as well as you're watching the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. 13-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats lead by 5 here in set 1. Heaton back to the line to serve. Rebels looking to stop some of that momentum with the timeout. Heaton lets it go, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She attacks from the 10-foot line. Good play in the back by the Bobcats. Set up middle of the floor, deflected, kept alive by Wilson. Rebels set up Taylor. She's going to bump it over. Bobcats on the attack again. Seems like they've been on the front foot the entirety of the match. As a tip attempt, read well by Wilson. As a battle at the net, it's going to fall in for the Bobcats. 14-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As it doesn't really seem the Rebels have been able to get a clean return to be able to set up the attack.
Doesn't seem like they have the urgency they had this morning either, Aaron.
Heaton with the serve, received by Taylor. They set up Scott on the left wing. She lets it go, kept alive. As it's tipped over into the net, that's a double hit against the Bobcats. See if that violation can help the Rebels get some momentum on their side as Ellsworth will serve. Lets it go with the right hand, received in the back row. Back to the Rebels side as Ellsworth has to dive to keep it alive. Bobcats get the ball back on the attack as Woolsey lets it go, finds Smith back left corner. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She pushes it down that sideline. That is in as Hannah Scott finds that far sideline. 14-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard. A little two-hand push there. Used precision instead of power. Makes score 14-10 as Ellsworth will serve again. Rebels still trail by 4. Ball over, received by Harlan, middle of the back row. They go opposite side to Woolsey. She tips it down the sideline. Ellsworth keeps it alive. Rebels go back to the middle of the floor. Wilson bumps it over. Bobcats on the attack. They go middle of the floor, set up as Ellsworth with a nice dig there. Scott plays it to Pugmire, who taps it over. Bobcats keep it in the air. They set up Henry on the far side. That's in on that far sideline on the 10-foot line. 15-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Something I've noticed that the Bobcats do is they'll sneak that back left corner defender, especially when it's either Fransden or Henry. They'll sneak them in, and they'll try to get an extra attack for that player. The Rebels can counter that. There might be some open space in the back. Rebels receive, go to Scott on the left wing. That's too far out of bounds across the back line, but it was touched on the way out. 15-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats touch that at the net as Hannah Scott will serve. Rebels looking to build some momentum here. Right-handed jump serve from Scott. Diving effort to keep it alive by the Bobcats. They'll have to tip it over. Instead, they tip it backwards into the cheer section. Rebels will take the point. Scott has had a couple of serves today that have been unreturnable, and that really helps your team out.
That definitely helps the team out.
High lobbing serve over, received by the Bobcats. They set up outside to Woolsey. Ellsworth with a nice dig there. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She lets it go, deflected, kept alive. As Taylor's going to attack it again, it's into the net, kept alive for the moment. Thought the Bobcats got away with one there. Looked like a lift, but instead it'll be 16-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Argyle's going to check in for Scott. As Polson will check in. Serve over, or excuse me, serve into the net as the Rebels will pick the point up.
First service error of the match there.
Haiti Pugmire back to the line to serve. She lets this one go. This time it stays in. Received by the Bobcats. They go opposite side and attack. That's out of bounds across the back line. 16-14 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as I think that was Tabitha Henry with the attack. Of course, Pugmire started the first serve for the Rebels. She let one go that was about 5 feet too long. Was able to adjust there. This time serve received middle of the back row. Bobcats set up middle of the floor. A tip attempt goes out of bounds across the right sideline. 16-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as Pugmire will serve again. Serve goes into the net. Second service error against the Rebels. When you trail service errors are tough, as Tabitha Henry will go to the line to serve. This is where the Bobcats went on their first run of the game to take a bigger lead. Argyle gets underneath it on the reception. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, lets it go with the right hand. Kept in the air by the Bobcats. They'll attack with Woolsey as Argyle's there to dig it out. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, lets it go. That's down to the hardwood as Violet Taylor picks up the kill. 17-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. So Wilson will serve. Lets it go with the right hand. Ball over, received by Harland. They go to the outside, 10-foot line attack, finds Casey Wilson. Kept alive as Ellsworth will bump it over. Bobcats dig it out. They go to the opposite side for Woolsey. That's dug out by Wilson. Rebels go Taylor as she attacks. Nice dig there in the back row by Griffin. Another attack, this time from Woolsey from the 10-foot line. Rebels dig that out. Taylor on the left wing lets it go. Kept in the air by Henry. Woolsey's going to attack left wing, 10-foot line again. Smith gets underneath it, goes into the net. Rebels keep it alive. Knocked over by Wilson. Great defense there from the Rebels. Bobcats on the attack. Another 10-foot line attack. Kept alive by Taylor. As Ellsworth's going to bump it over. Bobcats on the attack. Rebels set up, or excuse me, they attack middle of the floor, and that's going to fall in as the Bobcats pick up the point there. What a rally that was. Both teams, great defensive plays. 18-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Kind of what you expect in the state championship match between these two teams. As Fransden checks in, Harland will serve. Received by Argyle. Set up Taylor on the left wing, lets it go. Kept alive by Fransden. They're going to go right back to her on the left wing as Argyle picks up the attack. Rebels go Taylor on the left wing. She attacks high in the air off of Tabitha Henry, middle of the back row. Woolsey will attack left wing, 10-foot line off of Argyle. Smith's going to have to chase it down, able to do so as the Rebels will bump it over with Wilson. Bobcats on the attack, middle of the floor as that's deflected off the front line, out of bounds. As that was, can't see who that was. Panguitch is on the opposite side of the net, so you can't really see their numbers. At 19-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Rebels want to make some hay right here. Try to get back into this set as that's not going to do it as the receive goes right to the hands of Caitlin Paulson, the senior, as it doesn't get much easier than that. She just tips it to the floor. 20-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels looking to build some momentum as that serve goes in. That serve's in. The way that Taylor reacted. Looked like it was out by 5 feet. We're going to get a timeout called by the Rebels as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our Rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plain Stars broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. As Harland will serve. 21-16 on the station on main scoreboard. The Rebels want to make a comeback. It'd be a good time to start. Here as Argyle gets the reception. They set up Taylor left wing. Lets it go with the right hand. Kept alive by Fransden. Attack from the back row. Finds Argyle in the back left corner. Rebels go Taylor on the left wing. She tips it over. Good read there by Woolsey. They go opposite side. Attack deflected in the air. Smith gets her hands to it. Rebels go Taylor left wing. Lets it go. That falls to the hardwood as Violet Taylor picks up the kill. 21-17 on the station on main scoreboard.
Substitution number 41, Hannah Scott.
As Hannah Scott will check in. Argyle will check out. Serve over by Taylor, received by the Bobcats. They set up on the outside. Diving up from Taylor, keeps it alive as Wilson's underneath it. Rebels played over with Ellsworth as that goes out of bounds, though. Tough break for the Rebels as Kieran Mooney will serve after subbing in. 22-17 on the station on main scoreboard. Serve received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. Lets it go down the sideline. I think they got deflected. Doesn't matter. Stayed in bounds. 22-18 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Ball on the right wing sideline as Wallentine checks out. Serve over. Received in the back row by Tabitha Henry. She'll attack it from the 10-foot line. That goes into the net. 22-19 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith will serve again. Wallentine checked out for Scott. Harlan receives the serve. They set up on the opposite side, kept alive by Taylor. Rebels play it to the middle of the floor where Smith attacks. That goes into the net. Unforced error brings the Bobcats within 2 of winning the first set. So for the Rebels going forward, you want to try to clean that up. You got the jitters out. As Heaton will sub in, she'll serve. Lets the serve go. Received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott left wing. Tips it over the front line to the bottom. To the floor. That's a great attack there from Scott. As Ellsworth will serve. 23-20 on the station on main scoreboard. Ellsworth lets it go. Ball over. Received by the Bobcats in Harlan, middle of the back row. They set up on the out. 4-0 run that the Bobcats win on in the middle of the set. Their serve over, received by Smith. As Taylor bumps it back to the middle of the floor. Wilson plays it over. Bobcats on the attack. They set up on the outside for Henry. That's deflected, kept alive by Ellsworth. Wilson diving effort, keeps it in the air. Smith's going to bump it over. Received by the Bobcats. They set up middle of the floor. Attack deflected high in the air as Pugmire gets a chance at it. Henry keeps it alive with a hand. They're going to call a lift against the Bobcats. 24-21 on the station on main scoreboard as Hannah Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve over. Received by Harlan. Bobcats set up the offense. They go opposite side. That attack is going to find the hardwood as the Bobcats win set number 1. 25-21 as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team in the 1A state championship game online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. When we come back, we'll have the second set for you.
Ready has provided safety and excellence in industrial construction and support services since 1982. From insulation and scaffolding to paintings and coatings, our crews are standing by to assist with new construction, maintenance projects, facility shutdowns, and more. Contact us today to ensure your assets are protected and functional. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. As the Rebels drop set number 1, 25-21. This is the first set that they've dropped in the tournament. Realistically, a 4-0 run was the difference in that set. I mean, that's kind of what we expected, though. 25-21 and a first set score like that. It's kind of how I think we anticipated this match going. It's going to be really close, I think, throughout.
Yeah, I think every set's going to be close. I predict we're going to go 5. I see Rich battling back right here, probably taking this second set.
Yeah, they got to come out. I think the nerves have settled, and they played much better in the second half of that set. Still probably wouldn't be up to the standards that they would like, but, you know, you got to find it, and I think they will find it. You got plenty of time to find it here in set number 2. You don't want to go down 0-2. That's for sure. You have to imagine this is a must-win on the Rebel sideline.
Yeah, and you got the first set out of the way. Your nerves are hopefully gone. These girls, they can battle back. They know that. They have done it. So, but I think you're exactly correct, Aaron. This is kind of a must-win. Otherwise, too much momentum goes on the Panguitch side.
Yeah, this isn't the first time that the Rebels have lost a set in this tournament. They lost 2 yesterday. Were able to bounce back and win the sets after those ones. Looking to do the same here. They'll get the first serve as Hannah Scott is going to let that serve go here in the second set when we are ready. Bobcats taking the full minute. As you got to imagine on the bench in between sets, these girls got to be just ready to go. I couldn't imagine sitting on the bench and waiting for that full 2:30. Is a lot of fun for either team.
It's definitely probably not a lot of fun.
It's definitely one of the more agonizing 2 minutes, 30 seconds of each player's lives.
Especially when you release your team like Coach Wasden did there, and you're standing out there on the court waiting for the other team thinking, all right, let's go.
They're going over some final floor checks as they're going over rotations. As Page is going to, or excuse me, Smith, sorry, is going to check in for Wallentine. Scott gets the ball. Awaiting the final whistle. As we are underway here in set number 2 as Scott releases the serve, received in the back row by the Bobcats. They go opposite side as off the front line, out of bounds as Pugmire got her hands to that one. Falls in on the Rebel side. A 1-0 Bobcats on the station on main scoreboard as Tabitha Henry will serve. As Argyle checks out, Scott checks in. Or excuse me, switch that around. Argyle checks in, Scott checks out. Serve over, received by Pugmire. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She lets it go. Lift called against the Rebels. Or they'll call it a double hit violation, excuse me, as Henry will serve again. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She lets that go with the right hand. That falls in as Violet Taylor picks up the kill. 2-1 on the station on main scoreboard. As Pugmire will serve. Smith out, Wallentine in. Serve over, received by Harlan. Go to the opposite side as a diving effort from, Pugmire, no avail. As that attack from Woolsey falls in. 3-1 on the station on main scoreboard. As Harlan will serve. This is where Panguitch went on their run in the first set with Harlan serving. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set Taylor up on the left wing, lets it go, deflected in the air, falls in as the Rebels pick up the point. 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wilson will serve. We're here in set number 2. Panguitch on top, 1-0 as Wilson serve over. Received back row by the Bobcats. They go to Fransden on the outside, kept alive by the Rebels as Taylor will attack. That ball kept in the air. Nice dig there by Argyle as Rebels set up Taylor. Harlan with the dig. Bobcats on the attack. They tip it over. Rebels read it well as they set up Wallentyne middle of the floor. Deflected, kept alive by Henry. Bobcats are going to have to bump this one over from the back row. Able to do so. Smith with the reception, middle of the back row. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. Lets it go. Kept alive, diving effort, but the Bobcats unable to get to it. As good effort from the back row from Braley Fransden, who came diving under the net, trying to keep that ball alive. Rebels pick up the point on the kill. 3-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats set up an attack from the left wing. Wilson there to dig it out. Rebels set up Taylor. Just going to push it over the net. Harlan in the back right corner. Middle of the floor attack finds the arms of Casey Wilson. Rebels set up Taylor again as she attacks the back corner and finds the hardwood as the Rebels go on top. 4-3 here in set number 2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wilson will serve again.
Violet's 7th kill of the match.
Serve over, received by the Bobcats. They set up middle of the floor attack, kept alive by Wilson. Rebels go back to Taylor on the left wing. Lets it go with the right hand off of Harlan into the bleachers. Nearly running into the scorer's table. A couple of Bobcats. You love to see that hustle.
The Rebels are starting to do what they did against Tabby this morning. They're starting to tip every kill situation by Panguitch at the net, giving their back line a little easier chance to get it.
Serve over, received, and Panguitch is going to be called for a double hit off of what you just mentioned, a block by Jamie Wallentyne. Bobcats attacker hit the ball twice as Wilson will serve. That one goes into the net. Bobcats get the serve back, 6-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Substitution number 4.
As Mooney will check in, she's going to serve. So we get later in this matchup. Coming in off the bench right to the service line. It takes fortitude to do that as that serve hits the net. Smith keeps it alive. Rebels play it to the middle of the floor where Ellsworth bumps it over. Bobcats on the attack. They set up on the outside as that attack kept alive by Wilson. For the moment, that goes over the Rebels bench. 6-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Panguitch gets the point, they will serve. It's Mooney again. Serve goes into the net as the Rebels pick up the point. 7-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Violet Taylor will serve. Hannah Scott in. Cassie Argyle out. Serve over from Taylor. Received middle of the back row by the Bobcats. They set up on the opposite side. Diving up from Taylor keeps it alive. Rebels can set up their attack. Scott left wing. That attack is blocked down to the hardwood as Hannah Scott picks up the kill. 8-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve again. Serve over, received by Harlan in the back left corner. Go middle of the floor attack. That's off of Smith. Not really much Paige can do there as that was a missile. They call a lift against her anyways. 8-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. The ball was buried right into her stomach. It's hard to see the middle blocker as there's about 4 players standing in the way of who let that one go. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up on the middle of the floor for Wallentyne. That's off the net, kept alive by the Bobcats. Harlan will bump it over from the 10-foot line as Taylor's there to receive. Rebels set up Scott again, left wing, lets it go. That finds the hardwood, back corner. Hannah Scott picks up the kill. 9-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. That is 5 kills for Scott already to go along with a lot for Violet as well. That's 8. Smith will serve. Ball over, received by Harlan, middle of the back row. An attack from Woolsey is tipped back to the Panguitch side. Bobcats able to keep it alive. That was Pugmire again as Scott will attack from the 10-foot line. Tip kept alive by Henry. They go to the opposite side where they push it over to Smith. Rebels on the attack. They go opposite side to Ellsworth, falling away, keeps it in the air. Attack from the Bobcats, finds Smith back left corner as Scott will attack left wing, lets it go off the front line, out of bounds. Credit Hannah Scott with her 6th kill of the contest. 10-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Serve over, received by the Bobcats, kept alive as it went into the net. Good job there defensively by the Bobcats as the Rebels set up. Pugmar lets it go with the left hand as Fransden's there to keep it alive. She'll attack from the 10-foot line. That finds Smith. Ball high into the air. Rebels set up the attack. Scott tips it with two hands, kept in the air. What a lunging play that was in the back row by the Bobcats. Kept alive by Ellsworth with a diving play. Played over by Wilson. Bobcats can set up the attack. Middle of the floor. That is tipped to the hardwood by Haiti Pugmire. 11-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Pugmire put that paw up there, tipped it down, and that is going to cause a timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious, and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as tried to combine Panguitch and Bobcats right there as the Bobcats call a timeout. Rebels will take the full minute. It will be a Rebel serve. As it will be Smith to serve. Right-handed jump serve over the net, received in the back row by the Bobcats, kept alive. Rebels on the attack. They're going to set Scott up, left wing, lets it go with the right hand, block back to the Rebel side. Good job by Smith to keep it alive as Scott's going to tip it into the net as she tried to play it just over the net. 11-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. If she gets that over, though, that's a tough return because the ball would probably be only about 6 inches from the net. Here comes a serve from the Bobcats, received by Smith. Rebels go to the outside for Ellsworth. She attacks. Read well there by Mooney. As we're going to get a lift called against the Bobcats, or a double hit. Ellsworth will go to the line to serve. Rebels on top, 12-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Couple of dribbles, spins it in that hand, lets it go with the right. Ball over, received middle of the back row by the Bobcats. An attack finds Ellsworth. Rebels can set theirs up as Scott's going to push it down that left wing sideline. Good read there by Griffin. An attack from the Bobcats finds the hardwood as it's 12-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Checking in for the Bobcats is Polson as she'll check in from Mooney. And every time Polson checks in, she's about head and shoulders taller than anyone else on the Bobcats team. Got to watch out for her when you're attacking for the Rebels. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She lets it go, deflected into the back row, out of bounds, but deflected. Rebels pick up the point, 13-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Scott will go back to the line to serve. Doing a little housekeeping, though, throwing some trash away. Even in the middle of the most intense competition, never litter. As Scott serve, dug out by the Bobcats. They'll attack with Woolsey from the 10-foot line. That finds Taylor. Rebels look to set up an attack of their own. Taylor on the left wing, tips it over. Received by the Bobcats as they set up on the opposite side. That goes into the net, falls in on the Bobcats side. Rebels pick up the point, 14-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Scott serves, that goes into the net, 14-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Substitution number 13, Oakley Woolsey.
As Argyle's going to check in for Scott.
For Rich, number 11, Cassie Argyle.
Both teams with 2 service errors on the game.
Serve over, received by the Rebels. They set up middle of the floor to Pugmar. Lets it go with that left hand. Too far across that back line, out of bounds. 14-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats. Henry will serve again. She was also at the line for a long run for the Bobcats in set 1-2 as the Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. That was just miscombobulated the entire time. From the return, the ball kind of exploded off the arms of Smith. It was incredible that Casey Wilson got the ball in the air to begin with as Taylor's attack goes into the net. 4 hits called against the Rebels as Henry will serve again. That time it's off of Smith, out of bounds, 14-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Henry will serve again.
Second service ace for Panguitch.
Both belonging to Tabitha Henry. Serve over, received by Smith, another ace.
Last touch by Rich.
Rebels serve defense is going to be key throughout the rest of this match, as the serve defense has let the Bobcats back into this one a little bit here. As Henry serve over, received by Ellsworth. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, lets it go. That's blocked, kept alive by Pugmire. Rebels will bump it over with Smith. Two players run into each other, as it is, for as good as it's been in set two, these last four rallies have not been what the Rebels want. Well, now we're tied 14-14 on the station on main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Taylor. As that goes over the net, that's going to be killed by Paulson, as the Rebels set that one up on a platter. 15-14, as that's going to be a good timeout called by head coach Nell Wasden. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. Rebels have to try to regain some of that momentum they had early in set two, as the Bobcats have crawled back to take the lead 15-14. Rebels are up 14-9, 6-0 run for the Bobcats. Serve received by Taylor. They go middle of the floor to Pugmire. She tips it over. Bobcats keep it alive, punch it back to the Rebel side. Rebels set up the attack. Taylor, left wing, right hand, lets it go. Deflected into the net, kept alive as Ellsworth with the dig. Rebels set up again as Pugmire is going to push it over from the 10-foot line. Harland with the dig. Bobcats on the attack, middle of the floor. Kept alive by Wilson. That's going to stay in play. Great defense there by the Rebels. They attack opposite side. This one is going to fall in past the diving Ava Ellsworth. 16-14 on the station on main scoreboard. The run continues.
Lose those volleys, that hurts your confidence too.
Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing, tipped over. As the Bobcats set up the attack, as it's deflected high in the air, Smith with the dig. Middle of the back row, set up Taylor on the left wing, lets it go with the right hand. Read well there by Henry in the back row. As Woolsey will attack, diving effort from Argyle, keeps it alive. Rebels go Taylor, left wing, let it go with the right hand. Harlan again, back left corner, keeps it alive. An attack from the opposite side, kept alive by the Rebels as Pugmire runs over, and the cheerleaders have to get out of the way as that one lands off of Violet Taylor. 17-14 on the station on main scoreboard. As Henry will serve again. It was 14-9 when she went to the line to serve. As the ball over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, lets it go, right hand. That's kept alive for the moment, but it's going to fall in. Rebels really needed that one. As 17-15 on the station on main scoreboard. Pugmire will serve. Rebels are probably going to have to play a near perfect set the rest of the way if they want to tie this one at one. Pugmire serve, received by Harlan, kept alive by the Bobcats. They'll attack from the outside. Argyle with the dig. As we get a whistle blown, they're saying that the ball didn't go around the antenna, but the flag was up before the Rebels. This has got to be a Rebels point.
The line judge had her flag waving in the air on that return, saying it hit the antenna. And the up judge is saying no, so we'll see how it goes.
They do award the point to the Rebels. 17-16 on the station on main scoreboard. Some of the Panguitch faithful unhappy with that call.
I think they got it right, though.
The dejected look of Maddie Fransden kind of tells me the same thing, that she's explaining to the coach that it hit the antenna. It's hard to see from over here. I didn't see it personally. It's hard to see from, but that referee has a much better angle than we do from where we are.
And right from the get-go, she was waving her flag to call it, so.
Serve over, received by Henry in the back row. She'll bump it over as Pugmire digs it out. Rebels on the attack. Taylor left wing, right hand. That's going to go way out of bounds as Violet Taylor didn't get on top of that one. 18-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard as that ball took off. That might have been out of bounds on the third floor over to the right. But that's kind of the difference when, as hard as some of these players swing, when you miss the ball by a centimeter, that can be the difference. Serve over, received by Argyle, as the Rebels will play it to Taylor. She's going to bump it over. Bobcats on the attack. They set up on the outside. An attack goes too far out of bounds across the back line. Bobcats asking for a tip. I think this is kind of standard now. A lot of teams, every time the ball goes out of bounds across the back line, just see if they can get the tip. Why not? As that one just misses the back line. Good job by the Bobcats to avoid that one. 19-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Mooney will serve. As Mallory Henry back into the game as well. 19-17, Panguitch up by 2. Serve over, received by Argyle. It's going into the table. Wilson flying in to keep it alive as Smith plays it over. Bobcats have a chance to set up the attack. They do on the outside. They're going to have to push it over as Smith retreats back, keeps it alive. Rebels go Taylor as that's going to be a double hit violation called against the Rebels. 20-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels need to make a run here. They trail by 3 in the set, 1 in set score. Don't want to go down 0-2 heading into set 3 as Mooney will serve again. Lets it go with the right hand. That's going to be an ace from Mooney as Argyle ducked out of the way. 21-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
It's a 4th serving ace for Panguitch.
Rebels' return defense has to be much better if they want to come back in this one. Received by Argyle. They set up Taylor left wing. Lets it go with the right hand. Diving effort. Rebels get it right back as Wilson. Dump set from Ellsworth. Read well by the Bobcats. They're going to attack middle of the floor. Good read there by Argyle as it'll be bumped over by Ellsworth. Back row for Harland. Here comes an attack from the opposite side. Tip kept alive by Wallentine. Rebels will set up Taylor. That's over the net as that falls in on the Rebels side. 22-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels in a bit of a dire situation here in set number 2. As Mooney will serve again. It's been a couple of runs for the the Bobcats that have really kept it alive. Argyle able to receive. Played back to Wilson, who will bump it over on the third hit. Bobcats set up the attack. They go middle of the floor. Kept alive by Wilson. Rebels set up middle of the floor to Wallentine. She tips it over. Good read in the back row by Mooney. An attack from the middle of the floor from the Bobcats finds Casey Wilson back right corner as Taylor will bump it over. Bobcats on the attack. They go opposite side to Woolsey. Wilson's able to find that one. Rebels will go to Wallentine, middle of the floor. She attacks that, finds the hardwood in the back corner. What an attack there from Wallentine. 22-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Scott's going to check in, Argyle's going to check out. Taylor's going to serve. Taylor with the right-handed jump serve over, received back row by the Bobcats. They set up middle, or outside, They tip. That finds Ellsworth. Rebels set up their attack. Scott's going to push it over with 2 hands. Harlan's there to dig it out, back left corner. Attack from the 10-foot line, deflected into the air. Off the front line, out of bounds. Tough break for the Rebels as there's an attack from about 3 feet behind the 10-foot line. The front line deflects it down. As you're watching the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Bobcats lead 23-18 in the set, 1-0 in sets. Rebels have a lot of work to do here in set number 2. You don't want to fall behind 2-0. It's not necessarily the end of the match, but it makes it a whole heck of a lot harder to win. Heaton will serve. Received back row by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She lets it go with that right hand. Harlan with a jumping dig. An attack from the opposite side. Deflected, kept alive by Smith. Rebels go Scott from the left wing as Harlan's able to lunge to her left, keep it alive. Woolsey will attack from the back line. Smith with a dig. That's up at the net. That's going to fall in on the Rebels side. 24-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Set point in the hands of Janessa Heaton. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing, lets it go, deflected high in the air. It's going to fall in as Hannah Scott picks up the kill. 24-19 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve over the net, received back row by Mooney. Bobcats on the attack. They set up Woolsey. That goes into the net. As it goes off the net, Woolsey touches it again. 4-hit violation, double hit violation. Whatever the ref decided, Rebels point as Smith will serve again. Ball over, received in the back row by the Bobcats. Middle of the floor attack, deflected out of bounds by the front row, and the Bobcats win set number 2. Oh, I take that back. They're going to say into the net from the Bobcats. They cannot believe it.
They're calling it out.
Well, good thing Naya's not in the game because that was clearly deflected.
Sorry, Naya.
As the Bobcats are going to take a timeout to regroup. I like this timeout called by the Bobcats bench as they should be up 2-0. Rebels catch a break there as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth as we are still in set number 2. Rebels on top 24-21 as Smith will serve. Ball over, received in the back row by Harlan. They set up on the outside for Woolsey. She tips it. Wilson digs it out. Harlan gets the ball back for the Bobcats. They set up on the outside. That goes over the head of Casey Wilson as that one falls in, and it's a 2-0 set lead for the Bobcats, just 1 point later than it should have been. Rebels got their word cut out for them in the third set as they trail 2-0 as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as we got 1:30 left before set number 3. Rebels with their backs to the wall. We talked about all weekend that when you get a team down to their final set, they're going to come out swinging, and that's what the Rebels have to do. They got to come out firing, and they got to try to stay alive in this one. If they want to win the state title, they are going to have to do something that the Bobcats nearly did last year, and that's come back from 2 sets down to win in 5. But it all starts with 1, so the Rebels got to get this set first. As I'm sure that's what they're talking about in the huddle, is that we can't get both those sets back at once. And both sets were really, really close, both ending 25-21. Just got to keep
you just take it 1 set at a time, 1 point at a time. Just come out with intensity and the want that they looked like they had this morning against Tabiona.
Of course, it's a little bit different opponent than Tabiona. Panguitch is, I think, a better team. They swept Tabiona earlier in the season. This is a very, very, very talented Tabiona squad. I mean, played them last year, and a lot of these names are familiar from last year. Of course, we talk about the Rebels getting experience in a state tournament run. Tabiona got nearly the same exact experience besides from lifting the trophy, as they were exactly they're 3 points away from being state champs. So, I mean, got to imagine that got to imagine that, that experience kind of sticks with them. Bobcats will serve first. If you're the Rebels here in set number 3, what do you have to lose? Fly around, have some fun. For these seniors, this is your last match. You're down to your last set loss. You lose 1 more set, it's done. So if you're with these seniors, just fly around, have some fun, and live with the result. What can you do? But the key for the Rebels is you can't allow those long runs that have really, really sunk the ship for them in the first couple of sets, as Pugmire is going to check out. Smith will check in. Harlan checks in. Fransden checks out. Griffin will serve. Gets the whistle, couple dribbles. Lets it go with that right hand, and we are underway here in set number 3. Rebels return the serve with Taylor. She pushes over. Harlan dives to keep it alive. Bobcats flying around to try to play it back. They're able to do so with Heaton, as Smith unable to play that one as it goes out of bounds. 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as that ball was played from the back line to the Rebels side. They're unable to return it. Serve over, received by Taylor. Walentine's going to reverse bump it over as the Bobcats get a chance to set up the offense. They do to Woolsey. A tip attempt's going to fall in as the Rebels go down 2-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as Heaton will serve again. Take that back, make that Griffin. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels go right back to Taylor on the left wing, has to bump it over. Harland with the serve. They go to the outside, that's blocked. Back to the Panguitch side. Whistle blows.
Panguitch in the net.
Panguitch point bridge.
As Taylor's going to serve, Scott checks in. Serve over, received by Taylor. Serve from Taylor, received by the back row. Unable to get it back over the net. The Bobcats had a couple hits at it. Unable to do so. Taylor will serve again. 2-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by the Bobcats. They go to the outside. Tip blocked back to the net by Ellsworth. Bobcats are going to have to push it over where Scott digs it out. Rebels set up the attack. Scott left wing, right hand, lets it go. Harlan there in the back right corner. An attack from the Bobcats kept alive by the Rebels. Again, they push it over. Rebels able to dig it out. Wilson plays it over to the Bobcats side as they're going to set up on the outside and attack. That time, full swing there from Tabitha Henry. We talk about the fastball and the changeup. That one was a changeup. So I don't think she got all of that one, but works out for the Bobcats as Woolsey will check in. Heaton will check out. Serve received by Smith. Rebels set up Walentine, middle of the floor. She attacks that back right corner, read well by Tabitha Henry. Outside attack, read well by Smith, kept in the air as a falling back. Casey Wilson's able to play it. Good job by the Rebels just to stay alive. Middle of the floor attack, tipped as Smith dives, unable to keep it alive. 4-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels trail by 2 as Henry will serve again. And this is, in the first set, it was Henry and Harlan at the line when the Bobcats made their run. Henry at the line right now for the Bobcats. Serve over is received by Wilson. Kept alive for the moment. It's going to go out of bounds, though, as that serve hit the top of the net. Fell in as the Rebels can't catch the break there. Henry to serve again. Serve over. That is out of bounds across the back line. 5-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Smith will serve for the Rebels. Wallenstein out, Pugmire in. Right-handed jump serve over, received by Harlan. Go to the outside for Woolsey. Her attack goes into the net. 5-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith will serve again.
See if Paige can give us a spark she did earlier today.
Right-handed jump serve over, received back right corner by Tabitha Henry. Middle of the floor attack from the Bobcats is out of bounds across that sideline right in front of the Rich bench. 5-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Whenever someone attacks that near sideline, it's kind of heart-dropping. We can't see it, so we're waiting on the official call. As Smith will serve, ball over, received by Harlan. Bobcats on the attack. They go opposite side as Taylor's able to dig it out. Rebels set up their attack to Ellsworth on the opposite side. Good read there from Owens as an attack blocked down to the floor. Pugmire again. 6-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve over, received by the Bobcats. They go to the outside. That's blocked again by the front line. Bobcats keep it alive. Pushed over to the Rebel side as Wilson gets the dig. As they set up Scott left wing attack. That's blocked. Good job by Smith keeping it alive as Taylor comes flying in to try to play it. That's going to go out of bounds. 6-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. You wanted a little bit of a spark when Paige Smith stepped to the line. The Rebels trailed 5-3. They're tied 6-6 now. See if the Rebels can build on that momentum as Harlan will serve. Received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the 10-foot line. She just taps it over. Harlan with the dig in the back right corner. Middle floor attack from the Bobcats goes out of bounds. As I say, it was deflected. Point goes to the Bobcats. No one from the Rebels argued, so I do believe it was deflected. Harlan will serve, received by Smith. Rebels set up Pugmire, middle of the floor, tips it over. Kept alive with a leaping dig by the Bobcats. Their attack dances on the top of the net. Scott's able to dig it out. They set up Scott on the left wing. She attacks Harlan with a good read there, keeps it alive, back left corner. Outside floor attack that is into the net, called against the Bobcats. As 7-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. I think all that did was rob a statistical kill from Haiti Pugmire as she tapped it to the floor. Ellsworth to serve, ball over at 7-7, very fitting on the Station on Main scoreboard. Attack from the Bobcats, tipped over. Wilson there to keep it alive. As the Rebels set up Taylor in the back row, she attacks from the 10-foot line. Harlan with the dig. They go middle of the floor attack from the Bobcats as Smith's able to dig it out. Rebels will set up Scott, who has to bump it over. Here come the Bobcats on the attack. They go opposite side. That's deflected off of Scott, out of bounds. 8-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats go on top by 1 here in set number 3. Mooney checks in. She will replace Owens. Serve over, received by Taylor as Wilson's going to have to tip it over. Bobcats on the attack. They go to the outside. Their attack that's blocked off of the Bobcats, out of bounds. Rebels pick up the point as I believe that was Pugmire again.
Pugmire or Hannah Scott, both right there.
So possibly a half to each as Scott will serve. Ball over, received by the Bobcats. They go to the outside tip, and that's going to fall in as it looks like Hannah lost her footing a bit trying to go to that ball. 9-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Argyle will check in. Scott will check out. Heaton will serve for the Bobcats. They lead 9-8 here in set number 3 as we apologize about the Station on Main scoreboard being opposite. Rebels will set up Taylor on the left wing. Harlan with the dig. Go middle of the floor attack. That's kept alive for the moment. Still in the air. That's played over. What a defensive play by the Rebels as an attack from the Bobcats. Mark that play down as a big one as the Bobcats hit it into the net. 9-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Argyle dove to dig the ball out. Pugmire was able to get her arms to it. It goes into the net, and then Taylor bumps it off the top of the net over. Rebels pick up the point as Pugmire serves, dug out by Harlan back row. An attack from the back left corner is going to fall in. 10-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Franzen will serve. Ball over, received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, right hand, lets it go. Diving effort to keep it alive, back to the Rebels, as it's going to be the middle of the floor attack from Wallentyne, tipped over, read by the Bobcats, as they're going to push that over. As Ellsworth lunges to keep it alive, that's going to go out of bounds. 11-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Rebels trail by 2. This is a big time in this match for the Rebels. If they want to get back into this one, they have to win this set. And right here is kind of where the Bobcats have really extended leads in the middle of the sets. Bobcats get the ball back, middle of the floor attack. That's a tip. That's going to be in as Argyle tried to get there, unable to do so. 12-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels trail by 3. Franzen will serve. Ball over. Received by Argyle as Wilson goes running in. That goes around the antenna. That'll be out of bounds. Scott's going to check in for Argyle. Serve reception for the Rebels has to be better.
In the lineup, number 41, Hannah Scott.
Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go to Taylor on the right wing. She attacks that, falls in. 13-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Wilson will serve. Ball over, received by Harlan. They go to the opposite side. That's tipped. That's going to fall in as it was deflected out of bounds off of the hands of the front line. 14-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Bobcats are going to bring a couple more subs in, including Griffin, who will serve. Ball over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. Lets it go with the right hand. Ball over to the Bobcats as they play it back to the Rebel side as Ellsworth knocks that down back on the Bobcat side. Give Ava a kill. 14-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels will serve with Taylor.
Just need a little momentum swing here.
Ball over, received by the Bobcats. They set up the attack. They go opposite side as they find the hardwood. That was Henry. 15-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Woolsey will check in. Tabitha Henry will serve. Ball over, received by Smith. Rebels go to Scott, left wing. Lets it go with the right hand. She mishits that one into the net. It's all kind of been how the second game has gone for the Rebels.
Yeah.
Scott just missed that one. Henry will serve again. Ball over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up. Ellsworth on the opposite side. Good read by the Bobcats. We're going to get a double hit violation called against the Bobcats. Smith will serve. Received in the back row by Tabitha Henry. They go to the outside, pushed over. Received by Wilson. Rebels set up Scott, left wing. Right hand attacks, deflected but kept alive. Back row by Tabitha Henry. They go to Woolsey on the opposite side. Her attack goes into the net. 16-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Smith will serve. Rebels trail by 3 here in set 3. Trail by 2 in set scores. Smith serve received by Henry. They go to the opposite side, received by Wilson. As the Rebels push it over, Ellsworth gets the dig as the Bobcats try to go quickly. Scott with the attack, down the sideline, diving up from Henry, keeps it alive. Pushed over by Owens. Rebels set up the attack. They go to the outside for Scott, her attack. Harlan keeps it alive, good effort there. Middle of the floor attack, blocked back by the Rebels. Bobcats still have the ball. A couple of Bobcats run into each other. They're going to have to push it over. Rebels able to set up the attack. They go to Scott, left wing, as she mishits that one. 17-13 on the station on main scoreboard. As we're going to get a timeout called. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Buying or selling real estate can be fun, especially when you have a realtor that's working hard on your behalf. Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty have unparalleled industry knowledge, experience, and local expertise. The team at Bear Lake Realty will work to get you the best price. Whatever you're looking for, buying or selling, residential, commercial, year-round living, half shares, quarter shares, or income property, hire the best real estate company, Bear Lake Realty. Log on today, bearlakerealty.com.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. It is time for the Gare Bear Fan Cam, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty and broker Gary McKee. For all your realty needs, call 435-946-8888 or visit bearlakerealty.com. 17-13 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels trail in the set. They trail 2-0 as well. They are going to have to make up some ground here as they trail by 4. Serve over into the net. That really helps right there. 17-14 on the station on main scoreboard. Sometimes when you get to the ends of these sets here in the state tournament game, you know, you can get a little more tight if you're the leading team. Serve over by Ellsworth. Diving effort to keep it alive. Outside attack from Owens is going to find the back line. They'll say that it was touched. It was in bounds anyways. 18-14 on the station on main scoreboard as Mooney will serve. Couple of dribbles, lets it go. With that right hand, ball over. That's too far out of bounds across the back line. Back-to-back service errors against the Bobcats have kind of helped the Rebels out here as Hannah Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve over, received back row by the Bobcats. They're going to attack from the 10-foot line. That's deflected out of bounds by the front line of the Rebels. 19-15 on the station on main scoreboard as Argyle's going to check in for Scott. Bobcats will serve off the bench for Heaton. Lets it go with that right hand, received by Pugmire. Rebels set up the attack. They go Taylor, left wing, lets it go. That's blocked by the Bobcats. 20-15 on the station on main scoreboard. Bobcats 5 points away from becoming state champs. Rebels have some work to do if they want to get back into this one. Heaton will serve. Ball over. Received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. Diving effort keeps it alive. Ball goes back to the Rebels. They're going to set up. They go Taylor left wing, and she hits that one into the net. 21-15 on the station on main scoreboard. As Heaton will serve. Ball over, received by Pugmire. That's going to go out of bounds. Or actually, it's kept alive. Will be a double hit against the Rebels. Good effort trying to hustle to the net. 22-15 on the station on main scoreboard. As we're going to get another timeout called by the Rebels. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Whether you're recovering from an injury, just had surgery, or you're dealing with a chronic condition, Evanston Regional Hospital Physical Therapy will help you every step of the way to reach your goals and get back to doing what you love. In addition to the top-of-the-line facilities, we are the only physical therapy clinic in Southwest Wyoming with a full-size therapy pool and spa for aquatic-based treatment. Call today to schedule an appointment. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. 3 points away for the Bobcats becoming your 1A state champions. As the Rebels have some work to do here. 22-15 on the station on main scoreboard. As we wait the final whistle. There's the whistle. Heaton will serve. Ball over. Received by Pugmire. Rebels set up middle of the floor to Wilson. An attack from the Bobcats. Nice dig there by Ellsworth. Rebels will set up Pugmire middle of the floor. She attacks. That's blocked again. Front row as that is That is Paulson with the block again. 23-15 as the seniors really stepped up big for the Bobcats. Heaton serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up the attack to Taylor, lets it go with the bump. Here come the Bobcats on the attack opposite side. Good read by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing, lets it go. Good sliding dig in the back row by Heaton. Franzen with an attack finds Smith as they go Taylor left wing. She attacks off the back line, out of bounds. Another kill for Violet Taylor. That's her 10th of the contest. Haiti Pugmire will serve. 23-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Franzen. They attack from the left wing. Argyle with a nice dig. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, right hand, lets it go. That's blocked back to the middle of the floor. Ellsworth diving effort as that goes out of bounds across the antenna. Actually, I think it would have been out of bounds. It would have been an antenna violation against the Rebels as it's 24-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Panguitch faithful rise to their feet. Serve in the hands of the Bobcats, and that is out of bounds across that back line, deflected by the Rebels. As that will do it here. Congratulations to the Panguitch Bobcats, who are the 2023 1A state champions, as the Rebels' long run of play comes to an end. As if you can believe it, you know when the last time the Rebels lost to a 1A opponent was? The semifinals, not last year, but 2 years ago. That's kind of been the run that the Rebels have been on. Congratulations to the Bobcats, as also congratulations to the Rebels on a wonderful season. You know, getting to the state championship game is nothing to scoff at, as when we come back, we'll have the Independent Software Solutions postgame show as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
We're off to the rodeo. My Local Rodeo is proud to bring you live streaming coverage of high school rodeo from Utah and Wyoming, as well as the Intermountain Icebreaker of the National High School Rodeo Association's Western Legacy Series in 2023 and 2024. If you're interested in becoming a broadcast sponsor and advertising your business to the most loyal group of viewers in the country, you won't find a better opportunity. Call us today to claim your spot, 307-789-8116. That's 307-789-8116. We're off to the rodeo.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Fast, fresh, delicious. 3 words that describe your experience every time you enjoy a delicious meal with Jimmy John's. Utilizing the freshest ingredients, home-baked bread, and professional sandwich building skills, the team at Jimmy John's always delivers a mouth-watering sandwich to satisfy any hunger. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast, freaky fresh. Visit any of our locations today in Evanston, Rock Springs, Sheridan, and Gillette.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. It is time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap. 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fast meets fresh every single day. Get your sandwich at Jimmy John's today, as the Rebels drop this one in 3 sets. 3-0. Panguitch wins 25-21, 25-21, and 25-16 in set number 3. That is your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap, as we'll have some post-match highlights for you when we come back, brought to you by the town of Woodruff. As we are watching the 2023 Air Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our rich rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. It is time for your Town of Woodruff post-match highlights on the Independent Software Solutions post-game show, and for that we turn it over to Cullen Pace.
So both teams served very well. Panguitch kind of had the upper hand in that with 4 aces, though, to our 0. Each team ended up with 3 service errors. On the defensive side of the ball, Ava had 5 digs, Casey Wilson 1, Cassie Argyle had 1, Paige Smith had 4. I think the big difference in tonight's game was the blocks. Haiti had 3 and Janie had 1, where earlier today they dominated the net. On kills, Ava had 1, Janie Wallenstein had 2, Violet had 10, and Hannah Scott ended up with 8. So that's the tell for that game.
Those are your Town of Woodruff post-match highlights on the Independent Software Solutions post-game show. When we come back, we will have your precision play of the game as well as the Crawford Troth player of the game, as you're watching the 2023 Air Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Precision, the quality, condition, or fact of being exact and accurate.
Precision is important. Scoring the next point, making the perfect shot, getting the best score. And when you think of your dentist, you want precision to be the first word that comes to mind. That's why patients are so pleased with Dr. McKay Frankum. He provides precision family dentistry at reasonable prices to every patient. Dr. McKay Frankum, call today for an appointment.
Call Dr. McKay Frankum at 789-8910.
Back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. Rebels drop the state title game 3-0 to the Bobcats, as it's time for the Dr. McKay Frankum precision play of the game. As for that, yeah, we talked about this during the break. I don't know if we want to highlight a play just because of the way the game went, but hats off to the girls. It wasn't an effort thing, and I kind of always felt in life, if you lose and you give 110% effort, you're flying around giving everything you have, you can live with that. And, we talked about living with the result earlier. If you go out and you play your game, did they play maybe as well as they wanted to? Maybe not. I don't think they played terribly. That's the thing is, I don't think they played bad, but the effort was there. They were diving everywhere. It just wasn't in the cards tonight.
Yeah, the ball just didn't bounce their way today, but they didn't give up. They never gave up. At the end, our girls are sitting over there. They're ready to go, and Panguitch is already celebrating. So they didn't give up till the last point was scored.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate the way it ended. It stinks, but it kind of is what it is. But I think the hardest part about this is we're going to get to this more in the Crawford Trough player of the game is, all of these seniors, watching them for the final time. It's been an absolute treat. More on that in a second. But for the final time this year, you are watching the 2023 Air Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Whether you're having a great day or not, food always makes it better. Delicious, fresh-cooked favorites like a juicy cheeseburger, a thick raspberry shake, onion ring, fries, or a River Bridge soda. A grilled chicken wrap always hits the spot. And don't forget twisted ice cream cones. They never disappoint. Have the always friendly and helpful staff at the Crawford Trough, and you've got the perfect recipe for a perfect meal. Something tasty from the Crawford Trough always makes your day better. Stop in today. The Crawford Trough, Randolph.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the Independent Software Solutions postgame show on the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. It is time for the Crawford Trough player of the game, and I think we're going to pull a Rob Leifson. We're copping out and giving it to multiple players, but we're giving it to multiple Rebels seniors, as I want to personally thank them for the last 2 years that I've gotten to know these kids, and, you know, they're a great group of kids. They're a lot of fun to cover. They're a lot of fun to watch. They're great athletes, you know, in their effort. It's always the effort. You'll never question the effort of any of these seniors. And, you know, I want to take time to point them out and just kind of highlight them and pray I don't forget one, because I feel really bad about that. Let's go ahead and go down the roster order. As you know, Ava Ellsworth, called her like the vocal leader of the Rebels, because if you look at this, the Rebels senior group, not a lot of them are real vocal. They're real just quiet kind of characters that, you know, lead by example, where Ava is definitely, I would say, the vocal leader of this team, as she is one of the loudest. And I can kind of, I don't want to say relate to Ava because I wasn't a military child, but, you know, her dad being being a colonel in the Coast Guard, and her, you know, talking to me a couple times about how she's been to 3 high schools in her high school career, and that's something that a lot of military children have to go through, and it's not easy. So, you know, it's been a lot of fun getting to know Ava, watching them play, Casey as well. You know, this year, I think Casey Wilson came out of her shell a little bit. In our interview this year, she felt like she was much more assertive than she was last year, or maybe a little more confident in talking, or maybe getting to know me helped a little bit more. But I think we talked about this like pregame. I think Casey's coming out of her shell a little bit, and just real happy to see that. Nia Jolly sucks. Not Nia Jolly sucks. Sorry. No, sucks that she couldn't play this year, that she missed most of the season with the injury in her ankle. Not saying that volleyball isn't important to her. Nia's going to go on to do great things, I think, in the sport of wrestling collegiately. So I just hope that she gets that ankle healed and doesn't hinder any of her future plans. We're going to skip ahead to Janie Walentine, of course, getting to know Janie, another quiet character, but just a lot of fun, just always nice, always willing to talk, always smiling. Seems like, you know, no matter the sport, no matter what's going on, she keeps her head down, works hard. Moving along to Violet Taylor. I give Violet a lot of credit. You know, stepping in, being the lead hitter after, you know, one of the Rebels last year, and Darlene Peterson wins Player of the Year. She stepped up and put up really good numbers this year. And for my money, I mean, my money doesn't mean anything because I'm not a coach, but you could say that the best player should be on the winning team. But I think if you look at the stats and just some of the games that Violet had where she just took over and willed the Rebels to win a couple times, I think Violet, for my money, is the 1A player of the year. I'm a little biased, obviously. I don't know Tabitha Henry. I don't really know Cicely Fabrizio, so it's a lot easier for me to pick Violet than it is them. Haiti Pugmire, what a story. Going from the ACL injury last year to the first time watching her in an athletic contest was a basketball game. And coming off an ACL injury, no matter who you are, I feel like there's always a little hesitancy because you're scared to do it again. It's such a long rehab. It's such a tough rehab, too. It's not fun. So credit Haiti for coming back and, you know, putting on a performance today in the first game that I thought was incredible. I wanted to mention to her before the game, but I didn't want to, get in her head and, have her thinking about that instead of the game. So I thought she played incredibly today against Tabiona, and, it's been a lot of fun just to see her bounce back and get a chance to play volleyball. Because I know, talking to her, it seemed like she was real disappointed last year that she wasn't able to play, obviously, because of injury. And finally, Hannah Scott, who, trooper, man. She's been dealing with a right shoulder injury. I don't want to say it, since about Richfield, I think, was when it really took over. Molly Weston played for her in that game, but Hannah Scott just battling through that arm injury, keeping it alive. A right shoulder injury to an outside hitter is devastating. But, she came up. She showed up and played well today. I think all the Rebels played well today, and I think it's been a lot of fun to watch them. That is your Crawford-Troth player of the game. And we have one last thing for you. That's a calendar update. We got hopefully we have more than one more fall broadcast. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Rebels will take on Water Canyon next Friday at 10 a.m. as we'll have that for you live on mylocalradio.com as well as on 98.3 KADQ. One last time in volleyball season, we want to thank all of our sponsors. Without them, none of this is possible. I mean, me and Colin, all we've done today is sit here and call volleyball. I know I'm getting paid for it, so it's an awesome job. And none of this is all possible without the sponsors. So we want to thank all of them. I want to thank the Rebels volleyball team for giving me, I don't want to say full access, but just giving their time to me and just being willing to do interviews. I know a lot of these kids don't like to talk. And you have, an adult shoving a microphone in your face asking you questions about what the world should know about you. That's not an easy situation. So I want to thank all of the Rebels that have given me their time this year and last year. I want to thank Coach Wasden for, I know she doesn't like the interview either, so for willing to put up with it, hopefully willing to put up with one more. But, I want to thank the entire Rebels volleyball program. I want to thank the entire Rich School District. Without them, none of this is possible. I wouldn't be able to be here doing something that I genuinely really love to do. So thanks to everyone, but until next time, go Rebels.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC. Thank you for joining us for this sports presentation on mylocalradio.com.